Welcome to Sugar, Sampling Utterances and Grammatical Analysis Revisited, Verb Phrases. In this webinar presented by the Virginia Department of Education, I, Dr. Stacy Pavelko, will be discussing verb phrases. This is module number 4 in a 5-part series. If you have not yet viewed modules 1, 2, and 3, please do so prior to participating in this module. In this module, we will continue examining the sub-analysis part of Sugar by reviewing verb phrases. What is a verb phrase? A verb phrase is the verb and everything that follows it until the end of the clause. So a verb can have an auxiliary verb, potentially, and a verb, and it can be followed by an adverb, an infinitive phrase, a prepositional phrase, or a noun phrase. Verb phrases are important because they contain the basic proposition of a sentence, and they reflect the form and type of a sentence. Adverbs modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Adverbs can be of time, manner, place, or degree. So for example, she ran quickly. Quickly describes ran. I looked everywhere. Again, that modifies the verb looked. An infinitive phrase begins with the infinitive. That's the form of the verb that is to plus the simple form of the verb. It can include objects or modifiers. So for example, I want to go home. He tried to kick the ball. The infinitive phrases in these examples are to go and to kick. Notice you have the form to and the uninflected form of the verb. A prepositional phrase is a phrase that modifies the verb and uses a preposition. So for example, I like to play with cars. I bought the dress with the blue stripes. In these examples, the prepositional phrases with cars and with the blue stripes modify the verbs play and bought. Other verb phrase elements include the be verb when it's used as a copula, irregular past tense, the be verb when it's used as an auxiliary, do or does plus the verb, and modal auxiliaries. Remember that the be verbs can have two forms. One form is the copula, which is when the be verb is the main verb. So for example, I am tall, she is funny. In these examples, the be verb am and is the main verb. The other form of the be verb is the auxiliary, when the be verb is functioning as an auxiliary or a helping verb. So for example, I am talking, he is walking to the store. In these examples, am and is are not the main verbs. The main verbs are talking and walking. Am and is are auxiliary verbs. Irregular past tense is when, instead of adding the ed marker, these verbs change form. So for example, sing versus sang, and ran versus run. Do or does plus the verb is when we have a form of do with the verb, such as I don't know why, or do you want to go? Modal auxiliaries are when we have auxiliary verbs or helping verbs that express modality. Some examples are verbs such as can, might, could, and should. For example, I can go to the store. I might have some chocolate for dessert. The table on the following slide shows the ages at which 80% of children in the Sugar study produced the be copula, the be auxiliary, irregular past tense verbs, infinitive phrases, prepositional phrases, do or does plus the verb, and the modal auxiliary. This table shows the ages at which children produced each of those verb forms. Every blue square that has an X indicated that 80% of the children used that form. So the be copula, irregular past tense, infinitive phrases, and prepositional phrases were used by 80% of all children in the study, starting at age 3-0. At age 3-6, children added in the be form for the auxiliary verb. At age 4-0, children added do or does plus verb forms. There were no additional changes until age 6, when children added in modal auxiliaries. We can also examine grammatical morphemes. Some grammatical morphemes include the plural s, the progressive ing form of verbs, third person singular s, and the regular past tense ed. These might be familiar to you because Brown, in his grammatical morphemes, looked at these specific morphemes. The table on the following slide shows the ages at which 80% of the children in the sugar study produced the plural s, the progressive ing, the third person singular s, and the regular past tense ed markers. This table shows the ages at which children produce these grammatical morphemes. The X's in the blue squares indicate that 80% of children in that age category produced that form. So children of all ages from 3-0 to 7-11 produced the plural s. 80% of children from 3-6 to 7-11 produced the progressive ing and third person singular s verbs. The regular past tense was not produced by 80% of children until ages 5-0. Note that the regular past tense, ed, was not used by 80% of children until ages 5-0. However, 73% of children ages 4-6 to 4-11 did use the past tense ed marker. The Virginia Department of Ed has several additional webinars on language sampling analysis, including modules 1, 2, 3, and 5, as well as the knowledge checks.